family, welcome back to another episode. Listen, I thank you so much for joining me. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about the truth about purpose, what the gurus didn't tell you. Listen, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and be sure to share it with a friend. Now let's get into the episodes. I wanted to talk about this episode because I think this idea of purpose has become such a buzzword and a necessary one in our landscape today. Everyone's talking about your purpose, your purpose. What's your purpose? Find your purpose, define your purpose. What's your purpose? Purpose. So it's become this thing that is necessary for us to talk about, necessary for us to do, but it's kind of confused some of us in the marketplace. So I want to just bring my perspective, my thought about what I feel about this thing called purpose and what I feel a lot of us or have not learned from the said quote unquote gurus. When I'm talking about gurus, I'm talking about the life coaches, business coaches, motivational speakers, etc. I think this thing about purpose is one that we have to look at closely. And I want to look at it first from the physical definition of what it means, purpose itself. So as we see here, purpose means the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. I'll say it again. Purpose is the reason. It's defined as the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. I want to take the last clause of that definition. The reason for which something is created or for which something exists. I wanted to highlight that particular phrase of the definition because I think it's so necessary to understand in our conversation right now. When we talk about purpose, we have to now first realize that purpose is, by definition, the reason for which something is created and for which something exists. The best way to get instructions on how to use a said material, a said device, a said machine is to go to the owner's manual. What did the owner, what did the creator, what did the manufacturer say as it pertains to the purpose for this particular machine, the purpose for this device, the purpose for this whatever that it is that you're using? So if we're going to first define our purpose, we're going to have to go to the creator, the one who created us. Now, I realize that that takes us down a rabbit trail of okay, well, who do you believe in, and what is that opens up a much bigger conversation, but a necessary one if you're going to really define purpose. Now, I'm not saying that you have to believe in who I believe in, or you have to believe in like this one believes. You just have to believe in something, and you have to believe in a higher power that now can give you a glimpse into who you are and why you exist. Why you exist. And I have to respect that as an individual. I can't come and tell you that you exist for this purpose when you have defined your purpose based on the entity that you worship and the entity that you feel created you. You understand what I'm saying? So when we talk about purpose, you have to first find yourself within the owner's manual, within the manufacturer, within God's plan for your life. The second thing I think we have to realize is purpose is not talent. Purpose is not skill set. It can be, but not always. And I'll say most times it's not. I think sometimes we say, oh, if we see a talent in a kid, oh, they can sing, their purpose is to be a singer. Not necessarily. Their talent of singing may be the tool or the strategy that the creator uses in order for them to fulfill their ultimate purpose. So sometimes we look at talent and skill sets and abilities as purpose, and most times I feel they are just entryways into God using us in a said way in order for us to fulfill the real purpose that He has for our life. You understand what I'm saying? And I say that from experience. So I have a skill set with my hands. I can create with my hands very skillfully. My mind easily tells my hands what to do, and before you know it, I have something created. That's a gift that I have, but that's not my purpose. That's the way that the Creator uses me in order to fulfill purpose. And I think if we look at it like that, it'll broaden our perspective on what purpose is and how we can define it. Because if you define yourself, or the purpose of your life from within the framework of a talent or a said skill set, you'll have to perform that talent and perform that skill set for the rest of your life in order to feel fulfilled. In order to find fulfillment in your life, you'll have to perform that talent, you have to perform that skill set for the rest of your life, because that's your purpose. And granted, that may be the purpose for some individuals, but from my vantage point, I think that is usually a tool that the Creator uses, that God uses, in order for that individual to either get entry into a said space that they're supposed to dominate in, or to open up their world to the people from which they are really supposed to help, so that they can now fulfill the greater purpose that they have in life. Thirdly, when it comes to purpose, now first we said purpose, we must find purpose from our Creator. That's the first step. So we can't find purpose outside of our Creator. You can't find purpose outside. You can't find purpose by just sitting down and saying, "Ooh, I want to achieve that. I want to do that." That's not purpose. That's just a goal. That's just a vision, which we talked about in previous episodes, which are great, which ultimately gives purpose its form, its identity in the earth. You get what I'm saying? That's what the vision does. That's what the goals do. They give purpose their identity, but they're not purpose in and of itself. So first we have to get connected to our Creator, go within, find that purpose. Secondly, we have to understand that your talents and skill set are not always necessarily your purpose in life. They are usually your gateway, or a tool that God uses in order for you to fulfill purpose, or to get you in the right environment so that you can dominate in said territory, etc., etc. Thirdly, I think we have to understand, and this is where I really want to put a pin when it comes to what I feel the gurus do not tell you, and that is that purpose is ever evolving. Purpose is ever evolving. I think sometimes when we look at the conversation of purpose and we hear what the speakers on the platform say and what the gurus and coaches say, and all good stuff, I'm not knocking anything that they say. I think we often look at purpose as this one major thing, this one lofty goal, this one big thing that we're supposed to do in our life. You live all these years and you have this one big mission that God has called you to do. And I think sometimes when we bite off that much, we look at this thing of purpose as such a grand thing that we really can't even wrap our minds around it. Because one, we're afraid of falsely identifying it. So you're identifying it as the wrong thing, and it's, oh, I thought I was supposed to do this and I'm really supposed to do that. Oh my God, I don't want to be. And now you're terrorizing yourself with the thought of just trying to define what your purpose is, because you're afraid of making the wrong choice about your purpose, because you've looked at it as this one big thing that God has called you to do. Oh, I'm supposed to go to the nations. Oh, I'm supposed to take territories. Oh, I'm supposed to go. All of that may be true, and all of that will come to pass if that's what God's plan is for your life. But I think for an individual to make purpose more palatable for you, you have to understand that purpose is ever evolving. So if you understand that purpose is ever evolving, and let me give you an example of why it's ever evolving, because what you do as a teenager in high school, your purpose is to get up on time, probably, make sure you wash your dishes, do your chores, go to school, get your good grades, come home, make sure you do your homework, go to bed, and do it all over again the next day. That's your purpose. But if somebody tries to get you to see this big lofty purpose in high school, you're going to be like, well, what? All you can see within your view is getting up, going to school, getting good grades, and trying to get through that lecture in math class or in science class or whatever the class is that you hate the most. That is your purpose for that set period of time. Now, as you matriculate through there and go now to college, graduate school, and on into a career, your purpose then will change again. So if you understand that purpose is ever evolving, now you can stand in the assurance knowing that where you are right now is where you're supposed to be. And I think that's where we get so depressed and frustrated in life, because we look at purpose as such a lofty thing and we see this big vision and where we're supposed to be in the long run, and we're trying to put ourselves in that space when we haven't even figured out how to get out of this one bedroom apartment. Understand that. So your purpose is ever evolving. So this is how I like to explain it to people. When it comes to you defining your purpose, after you've gotten connected to the Creator, you've developed a relationship where you can now find yourself within the space of who God is creating you to be. You've gotten in touch. Okay, that's all that means. You've gotten in touch. Secondly, now you've understood that your purpose is bigger than your talent and your skill set. You know what I mean? Because there might come a day that you don't feel like singing no more. There might come a day that you don't feel like dancing no more, or that you can't dance because your arthritis won't allow you. I'm not speaking that over you, but I'm just saying sometimes it happens. Or you can't write another book because you just don't got no more ideas. So if your purpose is just singing, dancing, writing, entertaining, and doing X, Y, and Z, you could grow tired of that, because even the most talented people get tired of their craft. So if that is your purpose, which it could be, if that is your purpose though, then you've got to do that for the rest of your life in order to find fulfillment. But if your purpose is bigger than that, and I'm not saying it has to be, but it could be. If your purpose is bigger than that, which I believe it is always bigger than that, then if you're not doing it, you can still find fulfillment. And not only that, you can use that as a bridge. We talked about bridges and boxes as a bridge to take you to what your real purpose is, and find how you can develop that even more. So if your talent is being a comedian and you make people laugh, you do it on stage and you go and you bring all these people into the room and they laugh and have a good time. You understand that your purpose is really to connect people and to help people find laughter and humanity in dark times. Then now you can say, okay, my purpose is bigger than just me being on stage. I can take this and now bridge it into a service or a program or an event or something that I can say, now I don't have to be the center of attention all the time. I don't have to be the one on stage making you laugh. I can now show you why this is bigger and why this is important, and give you now tools to help you do life in a bigger way than just standing on the stage and being a comedian. This is just an example, but it's just to let you see that purpose can be larger than just your skill set or your talent or your ability. So that's the second phase. But the third phase is we must understand that purpose is ever evolving. And if it's ever evolving, why? Because you're ever evolving. So this is how I find footing in this philosophy. I believe if you know that God has called you and created you for a purpose, and you are, and you have been, because if you're existing, there is a purpose, because there is nothing that exists that has no purpose. There is a purpose. So that's the first thing that you have to accept, because some people have gotten to the place where they feel like they don't have a purpose. You know what I mean? So the first thing you have to accept before you even go through any of the steps that I'm speaking of is you have to identify that, yes, I have a purpose. I don't care what they told you. I don't care who's broken your spirit and who's tried to tell you otherwise. You have a purpose, and that's the first thing you must accept. Then you connect with God in order to try to find that purpose, and then you realize that the purpose is bigger than just your skill set. Now you find that your purpose is ever evolving, and how you find your footing in this philosophy is, instead of trying to define your purpose from this grand scale right off the bat, because that's going to take some maturity, that's going to take some development, that's going to take some time. If you allow the time and you're willing to mature and allow the development to take place, then this is really what the purpose is. And this is how I think of it. I feel like your purpose is wherever God is speaking to you, dealing with you, directing you, encouraging you to do or go or be in this moment. Now, it may not be your divine destiny, but if God is pushing you, showing you, admonishing you to do, go, connect, be, whatever, with whomever, if God is doing that, that means there is a purpose. There's an underlying purpose there. Now, that purpose may be for a season, but I guarantee you that the purpose is ultimately supporting and building the foundation for the greater purpose that he has for your life. Did you catch that? If you can just take a moment and tune in with where God is telling you, encouraging you, trying to place you, put you right now. And I mean like right now, as opposed to trying to look at it from this grand, big picture type view. Where is he telling you to go right now? What is he telling you to do right now? When you were in high school, he told you through your parents, get good grades. And you got good grades, and then you got to college and you got that scholarship. Not knowing that you were going to need that scholarship because you were going to get inspired to go and become a medical doctor. And then now you're in graduate school, and now you're in getting your doctorate degree in medicine. And now all of a sudden you're helping people heal. You're helping them find wholeness. You're helping them find the divine within the medical field. You found your purpose. But all it started with was getting those good grades in math and science back in high school. You understand what I'm saying? So stop putting so much pressure on yourself to define your purpose right now. Now I get it. Some of us are some of you may be in that space where you feel like you're getting older in life and you're in a hurry to try to find it. Could it be that you have found it already and you just haven't identified it because you're looking in the wrong space? You're looking at it through the lens of, what can I do? What do I know how to do? Because for some reason in our society, when we think of purpose, or we think of somebody who has some sense of value, we automatically go to a celebrity of sort. If you don't sing, if you don't dance, or some kind of arts or some type of skill set that we can measure and we can quantify, then you don't have a purpose, or you don't have a talent. And ultimately, if I don't have a talent, then all I'm supposed to do is just work here in the back office and make sure Mr. get his paperwork and make sure we get these files ran. And that could be your purpose. That could be your purpose. You could have a purpose to be a supporting ministry of helps to the marketplace. But if you feel like it's not your purpose and you feel like your purpose is bigger, then that means, going back to the point I made, identifying where God is, what God has put in your spirit and what he's telling you and how he's pushing you in right now. If he's put that in your spirit and you feel like there's more than you just filing paperwork and you just pushing papers in the back office and helping so-and-so build their business and helping them make more money while you just make whatever, there is probably something more that he wants for you to do. So the pressure comes in finding that more. What do you feel? What do you feel? What do you feel you're called? What are you feeling? What are you feeling, God? And I'm asking you right now in the moment. And I want you to think of this right now. What do you feel God calling you to in this moment? Don't identify it through your work. Don't identify it through your family. Don't identify it through a talent or skill, unless that is what you feel. What do you feel God calling you to? What do you feel? What are you feeling led to do more of in this season? Identify that. Then take a closer look at what that is. Get involved in that, whatever it may be. Okay? And as you're getting involved in whatever that is, I guarantee you that God is going to lead you to the next step, which will lead you to the next step, which will lead you to the next. And ultimately, you'll end up bumping right into your purpose, the purpose for which He created you. Identify where He wants you right now. And if you can't figure it out, take some time. No pressure. No pressure. Take some time. Search your spirit. Listen to those around you. What do your best friends tell you about you and who you are? How do they say you make them feel when they're around you? All of these questions, all of these experiences, all of these encounters can lead you to your purpose. But feel it in your gut right in the moment. What is that pressure? What is that pressure point in your gut right now? Get involved with that. Attack that. As opposed to trying to define it in this grand way. Attack that little nudge in your spirit and allow that nudge to push you right into your destiny. This episode was helpful for you. Listen, next week we're going to be talking about a cure, something that I believe will keep many of us out of depression. Listen, you don't want to miss it. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell so you don't miss a beat, and share this video, like it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.